following up the news that has just uh, came out this week with respect to the British court, Tigo versus Tundulisu. Can you just walk us through what exactly is happening here? Because Lisu himself has just appointed you to be his attorney. Welcome, Mr. Amsterdam.
Well, thank you. And listen, I've I've been Tundu's attorney now for many years. What's happened recently is in a court hearing in London, testimony was given concerning the activities of Millicom in supplying information to the Tanzanian government. And it's clear that information led to the attempted assassination of Tundu Lissu.
Mr. Amsterdam. Has happened since I think September of 2017, and the Tanzanian government claims that they were not part of this incident that happened in Dodoma in Tanzania. And right now, we heard about the former employee for the Millican then, Michael Clifford, took the Millican to a British court. uh, Walk us through here. Uh, what kind of cases do we have here? Do we have criminal cases? Do we have a civil case? Because a lot of Tanzanians, they are confused. Walk us through to the right path. Where are we heading, and where are we going to start with respect to representing your client?
Well, look, we're all confused because it's very clear that the information that's just come out ties both Tigo and the government to the shooting of Mr. Lisu. So I would expect in any country that pretends to be democratic,
Mhm.
the government would immediately call for a special investigation to deal with this new information and to act accordingly to finally bring the perpetrators to justice. In fairness to the Tanzanian government, we're going to give them a little time to come up with a proper response, failing which, obviously, we will be bringing proceedings against all those who appear to have been involved in this assassination plot. But just as importantly for the people of Tanzania, there appears to be systemic attacks against anyone with the courage to speak out against the ruling party. Tanzania appears to still be bent on being a one party state in spite of its constitution. We all know about these bogus arrests that just took place recently when a peaceful demonstration was being called. And we have the party that's been in control of Tanzania continuing to exert itself to suppress freedom of speech, freedom of association, because they're worried about the upcoming local and then nationwide elections next year.
We have been talking over and over and over about this since almost like 3 years ago, and we have talked about this failed assassinations attempt, and you have just talked a little bit about it in the beginning of conversations. So your client, Tundu Lisu, has alluded a couple days ago that he does not trust the local courts there in Tanzania. So, where are you going to file these allegations or the dispute with respect to the Tigo company and the criminal allegations that the Tanzanian government is facing today?
Look, I'll be very frank with you. We're still trying to determine where to file and when to file uh, because this is a moving target as this new information has just come out in the last number of days. But again, I would stress to you, as Mr. Lisu has stressed, that this is not just about Tundu Lisu. This is about the state or the lack of democratic competition in Tanzania.
Hmm.
We still have people in the ruling party that are using the police and the army in ways that intimidate and commit violence against political opponents. We just had a tragic death of a senior Chadema member within the last week. There have been 90 cases recently of violence, disappearance, wrongful jailing of members of Chadema. So this is an ongoing problem, and we are intent on bringing international attention. We are hopeful of getting a hearing at the Commonwealth, and it is critically important that the impunity of the Tanzanian government is brought to an end, and that the leadership of Tanzania come to grips with the abuses of power that are going on directly under the president's leadership.
Mr. Amsterdam, there are three entity here. I'm not a legal expert, but you're a legal expert, very well legal expert. And one of the areas that your company practiced for over 40 years, there's this term they use in the legal um, expert, bet the company or bet the farm litigation. Do you think this is the path that we're heading with respect to the bet the company, that you're going to bring down these allegations and dispute against the Tigo and Tanzanian government?
Well, look, there's no question we're going to be seeking redress and justice for Mr. Lisu, just as we are going to be seeking that for Chadema. And as I said, it would be premature for me to outline a strategy right now. We're going to have to deal with these matters over the next days and weeks, and certainly with Chadema right up until the next national election.
Well, they are the other part now with respect to the class action litigations with the rest of the Tigo. Let me put this with clients, the Tanzanians who are using the mobile companies' services. Do you consider also to pursue proceedings against the class actions litigations against Millicom with respect to the Tanzanians consumers who they were using Tigo service then?
Well, to be very frank, a class action would involve first determining which jurisdiction we're operating under, and right now we're focusing on Mr. Lisu as the claimant. So I don't think we would necessarily be able to certify a class. Again, depending on where we are going to bring such an action.
Failed assassination attempt. It's a very huge and we have not heard the Tanzanian government deny these accusations. Do you think the Tanzanian government part of this attempt that was failed in September of 2017?
Listen, from day one, I thought that the Tanzanian government was involved. I think the recent testimony simply bears that out. And the fact that there has never been a proper investigation, and the fact that the violence against Chadema is ongoing. This is a systemic problem. The assassination we now see in the context of all of the other ongoing state sponsored political violence.
Why the international community they are not involved? Because we have spoken this and we have talked about this uh, all the time when we when you come to a show. Why it takes so long for the international community to act against the Tanzanian government? Walk us through in that area.
Look, as you know, African governments operate within a high level of impunity. This is based on many factors, not the least of which being with the ongoing wars in Ukraine and now the Middle East. Uh, and before that, with ongoing political tensions, uh, Africa does not have purchase on the attention of the world the way it should. Now, we think that's changing. We think that's going to change and continue to change over time. Africa certainly commanded the attention of the East, China, Malaysia, India, Russia, but not the West. And again, we are going to be making representations of the Commonwealth. It's clear Tanzania has breached the Harare Declaration, which is a fundamental precept of the Commonwealth, and we frankly believe they should be expelled.
Well, there are consequences with all these actions or the commit of the crimes that the Tanzanian government they are doing. And you say you're going to presenting your case, and but still we have seen that the United States of America they are still continue to have the bilateral agreements. Why are you taking your case now to the Europeans instead of the United States, which they have been acting uh, very active when it comes to the violation of the human rights and the civil rights. Walk us through in that area.
Again, it's too early for me to tell you which court we will be attempting to bring this to. I think what's very important to underscore is this is one of the first, and we've only discovered it dispositively in the last few weeks through sworn testimony. This is one of the first indications we've had that there is real evidence of this conspiracy involving Tigo with the Tanzanian government. And through those inferences, we certainly believe a case can be made against both. And that's what we intend to pursue.
Mr. Amsterdam, let's close our argument because, as you've just alluded, that it's a premature to determine what direction or what court are you going to file the proceeding. What is your last word now with respect to the Samia Suluhu administration when it comes to all these actions toward the Chadema leaders, the Tanzanians, private citizens, and the last event that took place with the one of their leader who was first captured, tortured, and then killed. And then we have not heard anything with respect to the international community. Welcome, Mr. Amsterdam, and give us your last word.
Well, firstly, I hope they're not my last words, but I would tell you that uh, there is this cancer of impunity in Tanzania. We spoke about it 4 years ago. We're speaking about it today. We all thought the lady was a big improvement over the bulldozer,
Hmm.
but that hasn't proven out. Whether it's old members of the party behaving in old ways, I don't know. But shamefully, the party in power has not uh, revised its behavior. The
Hmm.
violence continues. And, we intend to seek justice for those individuals, including Mr. Lisu, who have suffered so grievously as a result of the behavior of the ruling party.
Your record shows that you have been successfully uh, win a lot of cases with the big names such as the former president of Zambia, the prime minister of Thailand. Correct me if I'm wrong, and so many leaders in Venezuela. But do you think this case right here, it'll be one of your case that the Tanzanian they'll remember you and thank you for your work that you have been pursuing for almost now over I can say 5 years. Welcome, Mr. Amsterdam.
Well, look, to be very frank, I don't know whether it's that the Tanzanians will be grateful. I think the bottom line is when you see injustice, you have to call it out. And our job is to speak truth to power, and that's what we intend to do. And the results will occur over time. We are already in consultation with other African governments. We intend to make consultations with the African Union as well as the Commonwealth, as well as the United Nations, to try to end the impunity of single party rule in Tanzania.
Mr. Amsterdam, thank you very much for taking your time speaking with American Swahili News and Swahiliville Online TV. Uh, but before I let you go now, and we talk about this. I think the last time when you came to a show about reconciliation, and you mentioned that you extended the invitations to the Samia Suluhu Hassan, and then you never heard from them. And then President Samia Suluhu Hassan, she's talked about reconciliations, reform, rebuilding, and resilient. Do you think that's just a camouflage, or just she want to put up the statement out there? Welcome, Mr. Amsterdam.
No, I think it's been shown to be camouflage. Unfortunately, all of the initiatives she's talked about have ended up turning into sand. So I don't think there's much good faith left.
There's not much good faith left. What is your last word now?
Well, again, I would say that it is time for the people of Tanzania, those who want to see democracy developed in Tanzania, to get active and to work with us to end the catastrophe that is this one party dominated rule.
Thank you again. Thank you again, Mr. Amsterdam. We'll reach out to you soon after you filing this proceeding, and do not get tired of us. We will invite you to a show. And thank you, Abdul Shatter in Washington D.C. to control these conversations. Uh, thank you, Mr. Amsterdam.
Thank you so much. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome.